As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802 993 8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging. We know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live. Hello there, good afternoon. This is Edo Decides live, coming to you live from the KAFTAN TV studios in Abuja, the nation's capital. KAFTAN TV is King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, commonly referred to as KAFTAN Television. We have opened our studios today so that we can take a look at the unfolding events in Edo State, because the people of Edo State, particularly voters, have a debt with history to elect the person that they believe and they think is going to lead them come November 2027, when he takes out of office to lead them for the next 4 years. My name is Macaulay Honohashi, welcoming you to the show. I'm not alone, I have my colleague here.
I am John Okoro. It is a pleasure to have you on the program. Welcome.
Yes, yes indeed, John. We are going to be opening our telephone lines in the course of the show, and our viewers will be glad they did tune to KAFTAN Television, because we'll be giving them blow by blow, minute by minute information of events as they unfold. As at yesterday, we reports reaching KAFTAN Television through our correspondent in Afolashayo Hamzat. She did tell us last night, if you remember, John, that even though there's this eerie congealment across the length and breadth of Edo State, because of the presence of security agencies, everywhere is calm, has been calm, from reports reaching us. INEC have finished deploying all sensitive materials, and the police have deployed 35,000 personnel, in addition to about 4,000 from sister agencies to ensure protection of life and property. And then observers are there as usual, that is characterized by the Nigerian election. Both local and international, they are there to monitor what goes on in Edo State, as well as the media. You cannot rule out the media, because without the media, people cannot get to know what is going on, and our KAFTAN correspondent is fully represented in that place. Now, to kickstart the show, it is expedient at this auspicious time to talk to our correspondent that will give us an overview of what's going on. Let's join Afolashayo Hamzat. Afolashayo Hamzat is our correspondent, KAFTAN Television correspondent. Hello, how are you today, this morning?
I'm fine this morning.
Okay, Afolashayo, I hope you are safe there. You're all right. You and KAFTAN crew, I hope you are okay.
Yes, we are all fine.
Okay, could you please quickly give us an overview of what you have seen so far? Because I was monitoring one of the sister television networks in Nigeria, and I was at about 8:30. INEC was yet to be present in one of the polling units, and that is Otedo. Can you just please give us an overview of what you are hearing on ground, please?
Right now, I am at Ward 6.
What 6?
Oredo local government.
Oredo.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's Oredo.
Yeah, so this is where the Labour Party candidate will be Olumide Akpata, and he's coming in right now.
Okay.
So here at Oredo, we have 28 units. Yeah.
28 polling units.
Yes, we have 28 polling units. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the officials came in at around 8:04 a.m.
Okay, 8:04.
Yeah, that's 4 minutes to 8.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir?
Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear.
Accreditation started as at 8:30 a.m.
Accreditation started at 8:30 a.m.
Yes, and people are still here. Everyone is voting. Everything is going on fine. Beavers are working well. Security personnel are all on ground. Everything is fine.
Okay.
Here at Ward 6, already.
Okay, that is the polling unit of the Labour Party candidate Olumide Akpata.
Olumide Akpata, yes.
Has
And
he?
he's coming in right now.
Okay, has he? Okay, he has not yet voted.
He has not voted.
Okay, what are you hearing? What about voter turnout? What are you hearing from voters?
Yeah, a whole lot of people are out. It is even more than what people expected, particularly at Ward 6.
At Ward 6?
Yes.
Okay, people are coming to exercise their franchise. So far, the
Yes,
general
and
atmosphere...
the electorate were actually out even before the INEC officials arrived.
Okay, and what about election?
Large number of them.
Okay, what about election observers? Have you seen some of them?
Election observers are everywhere. They are everywhere monitoring the election process.
Okay, so far the atmosphere is that of tranquility, peace and tranquility.
Yes, yes. And even when I interviewed one of the electorate, what most of them were saying is it is more people than what they have assumed.
Okay.
Because everyone had it in mind like there will be violence. Though we heard there are violence in some areas, but the what I am presently, everything is calm.
Okay. Okay. No, you are on ground at Erodo Ward 6.
Yes,
that has 28 polling units, and that is the unit of the Labour candidate Olumide Akpata.
Yes, Olumide Akpata.
Okay. What are you hearing from other local governments from where you are?
Other local government where I am, though some were complaining that the INEC officials got there late.
Okay.
While some were saying they also came early.
Okay.
But those that were complaining initially about INEC officials getting there late, now they have them on ground and voting as comments also.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Afolashayo Hamzat. Remain connected to us in the studios. We'll get back to you in the course of the show. Please stay safe, eh?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. That's our correspondent, Afolashayo Hamzat, on the ground there in Edo State, and she's at Oredo Ward 6, where she did report to us that there are 28 polling units, and that is the polling unit of what? Polling unit 6 is the unit of the Labour Party candidate Olumide Akpata. But she mentioned that accreditation started at 8 in the morning, which is expected of INEC to have done, and that is exactly what happened. And she also mentioned that security agents are there maintaining law and order, as well as election observers from Nigeria and outside the country, as international observers, and there is general peace so far. And we will keep tab of events as they begin to unfold, as they continue to unfold rather, in the Edo State election. So far there is general peace there, John Okoro.
I actually wanted to ask her, she said something about that they heard there were some rumors about maybe some kind of disturbances elsewhere, but not where she is presently. But however, maybe when we connect with her again, I will not throw that question. I have to let if she can mention the places she heard about that.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only thing, my own apprehension about the whole thing here is about logistics and about timing, because polls ought to have open at about 8 o'clock with accreditation. You know, the accreditation is very, very vital using the beavers. Then afterward, but normally it should be simultaneously. When you accredit, you now vote. You know, at the time it used to be you accredit, you wait. But you know, with the evolution of the electoral process, this time around is you accredit through the beavers, then you go and do your open secret ballot vote, then you go or you wait till the end of voting so that they can count the votes in the presence of everybody. But let's see, because it's still early days. To say anything, but let's see how it goes. But if INEC gets it right in terms of opening the polls as when due as at 8, because my fear now is that there could be some kind of logistic problems in terms of starting, in terms of because not from Shire herself, but from other sources that there are some local governments still that are yet as of maybe 9. Some minutes past 9 o'clock in the morning, that some polling units in some local governments were yet to see even INEC officials at that moment. So these are very, very important things, so that tomorrow again you will not move some voting to Sunday. You know, sometimes they will say because of logistics this, because of logistics that, then you have to move some of the polling to Sunday. So I hope they will be able to finish everything today, so that at least from tomorrow or even from this night collation starts. Worst case scenario, by Monday, they are not the results.
Okay, we're going to open our telephone line, which will be displayed on your screen by the master control room, so that viewers can begin to call in to share their thoughts with us. If you are based in Benin and you are a voter, please do call in. The telephone number will be right on the screen, so that we can know whether you have voted. If you are denied your franchise, you can also speak to us, through this channel. If you are an observer, you are also free to call in so that you can share your thought with us. People even beyond the shores of Nigeria can call in, because you can get connected so that you can share your thought with us. I am in agreement with you, John. There shouldn't be any glitches. But as human beings, I'm also in agreement with the fact that, a lot of glitches can happen, particularly when you involve different kinds of human beings doing, achieving one goal.
At the same time,
if this is a particular guy that is number A is serious about this job to see results without, hitch-free process, the other one may be complacent, and at the end you can have some human glitches, even though surmountable. So what do you think?
Yeah, for sure, in every human endeavor, especially endeavors like this election that entails the use of electronic gadgets like the beavers particularly, definitely there will always be room for some kind of margin of error. That is normal, it's expected all the time, but we also believe that we can actually do better, so that those error margins will just be very minute in terms of the general performance of the process. It's because currently now, as the polls are already underway across the Edo State, what every person, both observers, local and international observers, and the media, what everybody will be scrutinizing now is the process.
It's the process.
The process, because the process, when we talk about free and fair and credible election, it's about the process. And it starts from the logistics deployment before today. How did that happen? Did we make sure that all the materials, the essential, non-essential, and the rest of them, were actually deployed at the polling units at the right time? What about the personnel, both INEC staff themselves and the ad hoc staff, that deployed, for the purpose of this particular election? How are they trained? Their training, could we say that these trainings were really, really top-notch in terms of this ad hoc staff understanding, the nitty-gritty, the foundation, the fundamentals of the electoral process, especially in the use of technology like beaver? Because if the beavers, if beavers, like in a polling booth now, and you were not accredited by beavers, you will not vote. You see how important it is? There's no more room for the use of incident forms. It has to be beavers or nothing. So that's why it's important that these machines have to work, because in the elections past, both general elections and even this kind of obstacle election, we would have seen a situation whereby some VIPs will come to vote, they won't be accredited. The beavers will not recognize their fingerprints and everything. And if it doesn't do that, then there's no way you can even go ahead to be accredited and then to vote. So it's important that they get that right. Very, very important.
Okay. Well, our expectation is for a hitch-free election that the outcome will be free, fair, credible, and violence-free. If you take the report from Afolashayo Hamzat of KAFTAN Television, where she reported from Oredo Ward, Ward 6. Ward 6. If you take it as a macrocosm of the entire state, we are brimful of optimism that it's going to be hitch-free. But let's take this caller, John. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. You're on to Edo Decides from KAFTAN Television Live. Please go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. My name is Abdullah calling from Lokoja.
Abdullah from Lokoja, could you raise your voice a little bit, please, so that you can be more louder?
Thank you very much. We thank God for the day.
Yeah, that's right. We thank God for the
holiday. Election, so we pray it should be peaceful.
Yeah.
But INEC should be sincere. At the same time, the security should be sincere for what they are there for.
Okay.
Because the beaver you people are talking about, we in Kogi, you know what happened in Kogi for the past, for last election.
Yeah.
We don't know either beaver is working. Because down to tribunal to appeal, down to Supreme Court, they have not even talked anything about beaver. Despite that they have demonstrated all over voting everything. And the law of beaver is anywhere that over voting should be cancelled.
That's right.
But in Kogi, there's nothing happen like that. They ring from A to Z and they announce it down to Supreme Court. They accepted. So I don't know either the same thing will repeat in Edo State. So we pray Almighty Allah should take care of their heart and do the justice to the people of the Edo people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdullah from Lokoja. He ended up praying for the people of Edo State. Okay, let's take this caller. Hello, good afternoon. You're on to Edo Decides 2024 on KAFTAN Television Live. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Good morning, sir. I'm calling in Abuja.
Okay, go ahead. Your name?
Well, I don't show us the polling in the state so that I can see where they show the area where they vote you.
We can't hear you, please. Could you raise your voice a bit, please?
The polling unit in Edo State, why they can't show you the place now so that I can see what will happen in Edo State?
Okay. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you calling us this morning to share your perspective with us. I could barely hear him. John.
We're talking about display of visuals, from the Edo election. That's what he's talking about. That will definitely come in the course of this broadcast. But I think the most important thing, what you are talking about now, is having a general view of the process as it is. So definitely that will come.
Okay, let's take this caller. Good afternoon, Edo Decides.
Good afternoon. This is Omo from Auchi, Edo State.
Omo from Auchi, go ahead with your perspective, please.
You know what they go on here now?
No, tell us, please.
Me, na physical challenge from Auchi, na which I they use, and they can be able to manage my motor.
Okay.
I reached Osogo, which is unit 1, Ward 1, when I did vote. I reached there. The main gate, the locker, they open the small gate, of which nobody gets chance to drive. Physical challenge can no longer enter inside the main gate. And they are doing anyhow for that place now. So if me say, when we be physical challenge, we don't have any, we are not recognized in the whole Nigeria, or we are not woman being.
Okay. Okay, Omo, are you done?
Yes. Yes.
Have you led any complaint, to any?
I make any complaint to many people. They say they know they see the key, and I change the tape at locker. I know assuming I feel drive enter, I can be able to call down for wheelchair so that I will vote.
And you
I
have
only normally do it every time when I want to vote. I only drive enter, and then somebody will bring my wheelchair down. Then I will go to the polling unit that I will vote.
okay.
But today they lock the gate. They say they don't see the key to open the gate. So when somebody who is physical challenge can no longer enter the polling unit.
Do you have a question?
Well, I think, but currently, where are you at the moment?
Where are you at the moment?
I'm yes, from Maoji, Osogu here, from Maoji Warake Road.
Yeah,
I'm
so
here now.
are you still within the polling unit
Yes,
area?
I'm still within the area.
I think what
So
you have to
I've
do is
got so many security. I'm still within the area. Anybody out there, anybody, if you can be able to get to the media there, say, look for a man that carries white boot, Mercedes car, that is using wheelchair. Is there.
Have you been able to see any?
People, they say no way.
Sorry, let me ask again. Have you been able to see any INEC officer?
I know anyone when I say nobody they go. I even see security out there. They say the main gate is still locked in now. I'm still suffering there.
Because INEC as an institution has a very robust election policy when it comes to people with disabilities.
No,
so
they
I don't know.
only put small gate. You can use leg enter. Physical challenge can no longer enter. But normally we only go there to go and vote before even right for presidential and everything. We go there and vote.
Are there other people who are also physically challenged who are waiting to go in as well like you?
I know I have nobody there. I don't see anybody.
You are the only person.
Because they challenging me and they wear me the face now. I'm not sure if any other person go fit face that. I drive from all the way from my house to that particular area because I normally go there before I drive to the field. It's a primary school, so go primary school. I drive to the field there, I go come down with my wheelchair, then I will now vote.
Okay, and there's no special arrangement for physically challenged people?
Nothing like that.
Okay. You know, the only advice we're going to offer to you is to ask for any leader of the security agencies.
Let me I'm seeing one woman now. I want to call one woman as a security officer now, so that you will find her.
Okay. And I want to suggest that after you have voted, you can call back and let us know.
That woman, this woman, call her. Yes, call her, that security woman, call her. And I may get card.
Okay, now you get card.
They want to talk to you. Come.
Let's talk to her.
Yeah, they want to talk to you for phone. Come. Tell her say they want to talk to her for phone.
Hello, we can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, we're still there. We're still there.
So that they will follow her talk.
Let's talk to her.
God, they want to talk to you for phone. You come now. The security woman now, when I talk to now, he no one answer me. He still there. They talk for another. He no one answer me.
Okay. You know, we want.
They want to talk to you.
Okay.
The security woman, they want to talk to her. Whether the INEC or.
Let's talk to her. Yeah. Hello. How are you? Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Oh, who are we talking with? You are on ground in Edo at the polling unit there.
Yeah.
Okay, are you a security agent?
Yeah.
Okay, the person that gave you that telephone is a physically challenged person, and you know that they have a priority when they come to exercise their franchise at the polling unit. They should be given the offer of first refusal before any other physically fit person. Are you aware?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are speaking with a journalist from KAFTAN television based in Abuja, the nation's capital.
Okay, welcome, sir.
So we want.
Yeah, it's live on air.
Yeah, and you are live on air.
Exactly.
So the physically challenged have laid complaints via this medium that they are being denied the opportunity to go in there and have a seamless process to cast their votes to select the person they believe is going to lead them in the next 4 years.
Okay. Okay. Let me talk to the person. You understand? Let me know the challenge you're facing.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great.
Done.
Okay, thank you.
You can do your best to
Thank you.
assist him.
Could you give him the telephone? Let's talk to him, please.
Okay.
Hello, Chibomu.
Okay.
I wanted to let him know that after exercising his franchise, he should call back to let us know,
I'm sure he
so
will
that
do
we
so.
can, be,
Yeah.
you know,
I think,
remain on top of the situation.
You know, INEC, you know, as a federal institution, has a very robust policy when it comes to the plight of PWD, that's the people with disabilities coming to election. And anytime elections are approaching, such as this Edo election, you see INEC engaging, you know, with the PWDs, the people with disabilities. And so this kind of a thing where someone who is challenged physically will be complaining that he was not given, nobody is even giving him an attention, I think it's not good. So whoever is hearing, we don't want to be getting this kind of calls and complaint from PWDs, from people with disabilities. Once they appear, you know, there should be things to do to assist them. In fact, like you said, they have to be given the priority. You know, the priority, you know, in fact, before any other person even votes, you know. But, you know, at the time, I think it was during some of the general elections, you know, INEC even had to make sure that they provided something like ramps for those who are on wheelchair, so that if the polling unit is elevated somewhere where they cannot climb, then you have ramps where they can actually be pushed so that they can access the polling unit, you know, through those ramps. And they even provided magnifying glasses for the people who have issues with sight, so that when they get to the polling booth physically, they can actually use the magnifying glasses to identify the parties or the party they want to vote for. So it's not a good report that somebody who is physically challenged is stranded in a polling unit. It's not a good report. So whoever is concerned, all the authorities concerned, I think it's important that they make this information available. That's why I was talking about training. Though it was not easy for him to assess. Maybe I think the polling unit is inside.
It's inside.
So I think maybe because if he had gotten an INEC officer's attention, I'm sure they will do something. But now that the security agent is on it, let's believe that he will assist him.
Let's believe that the security agents will assist him. Quite agree with your, you know, brief analysis, you know, about the synergy between the PWDs and INEC. There have always been an interface. You know, and the PWDs are led by the likes of Jack Epele of the Albino Foundation. You know, in particular, he has been on top of you know, the situation for inclusivity, you know, for people with disabilities, especially the physically challenged. And Jack Epele has traveled beyond the shores of Nigeria to ensure that the physically challenged have inclusivity in African democracy, not only in Nigeria. And for someone who is physically challenged that uses a wheelchair to leave his home, use his Mercedes-Benz to arrive at the polling unit and then become stranded, like you rightly mentioned, it is appalling. And it is not good for our image as a nation.
At all.
Well, we're going to take a short break. And when we return, Edo Decides continue live on KAFTAN television. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Edo Decides 2024 live from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja, the nation's capital. We have a live feed before we went on that short break that we would like our viewers to have a glimpse of what's going on and the events unfolding as the people of Edo State, come out en masse to take a decision because they have a debt with history, to take a decision about who they think and believe is going to lead them, in the next 4 years as their elected governor. Well, those were live feeds from our correspondent, Afola Shayo Hamzat, who is on ground, sending us reports minute by minute happenings and bullet by bullet, activities of events that are unfolding in Edo State, covering for KAFTAN and television. That's Edo Decides. And I'm so excited. We're all excited in the studio about the fact that Edo people have defied the cold weather and the rains to come out to exercise their franchise, to take a decision because they have the debt with history. And we started the show without our third colleague, Richard Ori, who has also defied the cold weather in Abuja. He defied the rain because it's a rainy day.
Because of the rain, you have to go because of the rain. Only one foundation.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. You said what?
Because they never did install like they
Hello, can you hear me?
do. I don't wear white. They are not messing up.
The network is kind of breaking. Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I think we're having issue with the problem right now. I will be right back shortly.
You know, sent by Afolayan Hamzat, our correspondent who is on ground. You can hardly see a policeman holding a rifle. The camera panned several times. I didn't sight any police officer there. To me, this is quite credible. John, you were saying it yesterday on the polity that even police officers that are armed should not be visible.
Yes.
Visible. They should maintain some distance because this is civic duty.
The security structure of election security, you have at the perimeter, which is supposed to be at the borders of the states, you have the military manning the borders, and maybe some other agency, the military. Then within the polling units, you have unarmed police officers who are going to stay some meters out of sight, but they'll be observing what is going on. Then you're still going to have some armed officers, but they're going to be far from there. So in case of any kind of emergency where the intervention is needed there, they will just have some few minutes to come in and intervene. You understand? But ordinarily, we're not supposed to be seeing gun-toting police officers within the polling booth area. And I'm sure that they're maintaining that again in the state.
I think that is what we are seeing in Edo State. Usually, just like you said, the deployment of military officers, even DSSS, they are not usually seen within the polling unit area. But from the center, the state headquarters, they would deploy a certain number of military officers, DSSS officers to the various local government areas. And when they get to the local government, they will not station themselves in one particular polling unit, but they will be moving around. Moving around. They will be moving around the entire local government. Anywhere there's anywhere that there's crisis, they will give them a call and they rush to that place to maintain peace. And after that, they leave the polling unit area. Usually, the class of security personnel that you see within the polling unit area, they are civil defense officers and unarmed police officers. But in some cases where they compromise, in some cases, in some areas where they compromise, you will see even military officers helping them, police officers helping them to shortchanging the people's will. But in any case, from what we are seeing in Edo now, I think Nigerians are happy with what is going on, but we pray that it continues in this way.
Yesterday, the AIG, or the DIG rather, that's Frank Mumba, who is in charge of security there in Edo, election security. You know, talking on national TV, he says something which I don't believe everyone agrees with him, that after casting your vote, you should go home. That if you don't have any business, maybe as an observer, as a security personnel, who has the right to stay around. And once you cast a vote, you should go home. But it's against what
electoral process
we have
against
believed to be the best thing, which is stay and protect your vote, but stay calmly and peacefully. Because there is always this perception that when you vote and you leave, then something may happen to your vote at the polling booth, at the polling unit, which is the step one in terms of the whole collation value chain. That's polling unit is the beginning of everything. So people believe. So that's why in previous elections, you find out that people will vote and wait, and when the votes are counted, people will follow. As I counting,
until announcement of results.
Sure, you know the way it used to go now. They will say this party 1, this party 2, this party 3, and if you find out that it shows some kind of transparency. But for a police officer to say that after casting your vote you should go home, I don't think that everyone, like me personally, I don't agree with that.
I think, John, I'm in tandem with your position, because in the run-up to the campaigns, we kept hearing that it was a fight between two major titans, the PDP led by the current governor, and then Oshomole led by that's the ruling party. And we are talking about military might. When you say military might, you are simply talking about the fact that
the federal
might. The federal might. Sorry, you are more or less talking about the fact that the center, that is the ruling party at the center, controls the police. It controls the army. It controls the instruments of coercion, all the instruments of coercion. So when a DIG that is supposed to lead the security agents there begins to talk about the fact that voters should cast their ballot and leave, that is where the suspicion you talked about comes in.
Exactly.
And suspicion about the electoral process in Nigeria has become fixated. People have fixated mindset about this process. There are people who, cast their ballot, shrugging their shoulders. Well, let me just do it, even though it may not count. It has become fixated, and I think we should extricate ourselves from such. And it is the politicians and the electoral body that will help Nigerians shift their mindset, far and beyond being fixated.
In strategic diplomacy, what they have done, we call it gunboat diplomacy. This gunboat diplomacy, you show your strength with the military presence, with all manner of security presence, to tell your opponent your strength. And that alone can weaken their supporters to say, don't go, my son, don't go out. It will reduce the number of voters that will beat their chest to say they are going to cast their vote today. But from what is happening in Edo, it shows clearly that they defy all of that. And that is why the presence of the military within the polling unit area is not even so pronounced. And I pray, but from what we are seeing from the screen here, I think about 2.6 million voters of Edo State, less than 30 or 40% will surely come out today to cast their vote from what is happening, because I am not seeing good number of voters within the polling unit area. Most of the people there, they are officials who are there to monitor the election, either election observers, police officers, presiding officers who are not voters within the polling unit. I have not seen, sincerely, I have not seen a good number of voters within the polling unit.
Apathy is a
another
feature.
thing there, yes.
Borrowing from Richard, the gunboat diplomacy.
Gunboat diplomacy.
So the gunboat diplomacy actually has what I might call its own side effects. And one of them will be what might be unfolding, which is voter apathy. Because ordinarily, we even heard that even before this time, that there was some kind of raids, across different parts of the state, and some members of a particular political party, and some members, members of some particular political party, were the ones who were arrested, and with that, with the show of force, there are some people who actually will want to come out to vote, but because of the show of force, because of maybe they are afraid of with the presence of guns all over the place, being wielded both by the military, the army, the police, and even some plainclothes people will be armed. Somehow they're moving. So somebody will say, okay, for the sake of peace, so let me just stay at home and manage what I have done, to go out there in the name of trying to vote, and maybe somewhere a crossfire and you are hit by a stray bullet, and that's the end of the story.
And nothing happens.
And life goes on. Life goes on.
I agree with both of you that gunboat diplomacy is quite strategic. But we're going to take a short break, and when we return, Edo Decides continues live from KAFTAN Television. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Governorship election 21st September 2024, the Independent Electoral Commission announced the publication of the final list of the Edo State governorship election, equally published the personal particulars of the governorship candidate and the ruling mates in both the state and local government offices in Edo State. On balance, 17 political parties are fielding candidates in the election, 16 are male, while 1 is female. From the Accord Party, the governorship candidate is Iyere Kennedy, a 50-year-old male with secondary school certificate, is running mate for the position of deputy governor in Ebule Bright, a 49-year-old male who holds a master's degree. Representing the Action Alliance Party, the governor candidate is Isekoi Tom, a 60-year-old male with a West African examination certificate. His deputy governor is Inawo Mabel, a Samoa Nwen, also 60-year-old and a male with a WIEC certificate. For African Action Congress Party, Udo Oberafo David is running for governor. He's a 57-year-old male with a first school leaving certificate, SSCE, and a degree. His deputy governor, Osandu Lori Osas, is a 45-year-old male who holds an FSLC, WIEC, and a law degree. Representing the African Action Congress Party is Zendonwe Osanrewe Derek, a 47-year-old male with an FSLC, WIEC, and a Bachelor of Engineering, is the governor candidate. His deputy governor, Osaige Philip, is a 61-year-old male and holds an FSLC, WIEC, and a higher school certificate. For Action Democratic Party, Akimwe Kingson is contesting for governor. He is a 54-year-old male with a primary school leaving certificate. His deputy governor, Obeze Ramatu, is a female and holds a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting. From the All Progressive Congress, Okpebolo Monday, 852, is running for governor. He holds a primary school leaving certificate, FSLC, and WIEC. His running mate for deputy governor, Idaosa Dennis, is a 43-year-old male who holds an FSLC, WIEC, and a master's degree in legal studies. The All Progressive Grand Alliance Party is fielding Osifu Azaya, a 64-year-old male with an FSLC, SSCE, and a Bachelor of Science degree for the position of governor. His deputy governor is Bello